Join Master of Menace Remark Maloney and the OG guy being Dude Aiden Maloney as they explore movies, music, food, and nightlife on The Mark Mo Show. With segments like You Just Made the List, Carpe DM, and The 15, each episode is loaded with shenanigans, tomfoolery, and chaos. We hope you enjoy the show.
Okay, everybody. Hi there. Welcome to the Mark Mo Show podcast. We are on our third episode of our first season here out in the webosphere on YouTube and all the various podcast platforms. I'm your host, Mark Maloney, along with my co-host and host of his own show, AK219 Guys Being Dudes. It's Aiden Maloney. How are you?
Doing pretty fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Usually after a week of work and whatnot, I'm like, why do we do this?
Right.
Why do we do this? Maybe the hobo life is the life for me.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, it was a pretty good week.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. I too get the vibes of like, you know what if I just jump on some trains, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
For free.
I know, right? Just we'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
You know, live that lifestyle, do odd jobs here and there, travel town to town.
Right. It is.
Get angry, turn
enticing.
green. Oh,
right.
That's a different guy. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah.
I don't know the reference.
That's Bruce Bixby from The Incredible Hulk.
Bruce Bixby?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Who's Bruce Bixby?
No.
You've been using your Samsung too much.
Okay, Samsung. Maybe it's something else I've been using too much. No. The actor's last name.
Famous
Bruce Banner.
Bruce Bixby.
We might have to rename the episode now.
Holy.
Oh, no. The actor's last name from the TV series was Bixby.
Uh-huh.
And it's Bruce Bed. Jesus Christ. You know, we just started. This is going to be how it is, guys. This is crazy. But yeah, so that was a Bruce Banner Incredible Hulk reference.
Ah, of course.
I feel like Bruce Bixby. Who is he? Is he your accountant? I don't understand. Oh, man.
Everyone's favorite.
Hey, yo,
shout out to Bruce Bixby.
Shout out to Bruce Bixby. He's our number one fan.
He's our biggest fan.
Oh, by far. Almost a stalker.
Well, that's the thing you don't want, is you don't want parasocial relationships like that over the, as you called it, webosphere.
Over the webosphere, it's probably not the best idea.
Yeah, but something about Bruce Bixby just really tugs at the old heartstrings.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ah, Bruce, what a guy.
Mr. Bixby makes you feel away.
Oh, he does indeed. Well, it's going to be that episode, guys, so buckle in. At any rate, what's up, everybody? This is good stuff. We're going to have some fun. We produce new content weekly on all podcast platforms and YouTube, as I mentioned before. We're also going to have some one-off interviews. I actually have an interview set up next week with the YMCA here in Valparaiso, Indiana. So that is going to be a really interesting conversation about heart health. So that will be... It'll either be a component of the next episode, or depending how it goes, maybe it's just going to be kind of its own thing.
Right.
And we'll I think we'll just play it by ear on how that goes. But
I think that's a good idea.
I think so too. And I really do like doing interviews, whether it is bringing health concerns to light or other concerns within the community, or maybe something more lighthearted or helping out a business. I mean, I just like doing that stuff. So
very true.
Yeah, so we'll definitely make it part of the show at some point. And if you like the Mark Mo Show, and I hope you do, please like and subscribe, by the way. Check out my radio show, which is called After Hours. Now, it currently resides on a radio station in Valparaiso. It's WVLP, so you can go to the website, wvlp.org. That's where the stream's at, so you can hit it up there. Or you can go to the TuneIn app on your phone, and you can listen to it that way. And I believe you can yell at Alexa, and I think she'll find the station. She can play it that way, too. So,
very true. Very convenient.
Very convenient. So a lot of ways you can reach that. At some point, I'm taking the radio show, because I can't do it traditionally like a podcast. I have to do it a little bit of a different way due to copyright.
Right.
So I'll probably move it over to internet radio at some point, maybe during the summer, late summer. And when that happens, we'll let you know.
Very true. It's exciting stuff.
It is exciting stuff. And I love doing the radio. I love music. And the show currently is alt-rock and Celtic punk. From yesterday and today, that's kind of the whole vibe, and it's a lot of fun because there's great alt stuff from like the late '80s, early '90s, and on, and even the Celtic punk stuff. You can go back to to like the Pogues and groups like that early on and moving forward, and just a lot of good fun music.
Very
and
true.
That's the point. So check it out. It is a pretty good show, I think. And if you are local and you are listening on the dial, it would be Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time and Friday 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So check it out. Check it out if you can. And you should also check out AK219, Guys Being Dudes, podcast with my co-host Aiden Maloney and Kevin Boland.
I thought it was Kevin Bixby.
It is. It is Kevin Bixby. Bruce Bixby is his father.
Yes, exactly. And Kevin is Bruce Bixby's grandfather. It's a confusing family.
It's a confusing family. They do a lot of stuff inside. We'll leave that alone. Anyway.
Roll Tide, am I right?
Roll Tide. And, it's a great show. So do you want to take a minute or two and just shout out what you got going on?
Yeah. A romp and a rave. What did you called it a riff and a raff?
A riff.
Or something like that?
A riff and a raff.
Yeah. But it's a grand old time. We've got a lot of fun segments on there. Of course, you can catch it YouTube, Patreon, everywhere that you can find podcasts. It's just a good time.
It is a good time.
It is probably one of the more unserious pieces of media you can consume. But that's kind of how we want it, right? Because
there's enough bullshit out there.
There is plenty. There's too much, in my personal opinion. But yeah, it's just a fun time. It's an hour every week, give or take. And it's just a fantastic time. And, of course, we do gaming on our YouTube as well, and that's a lot of fun.
That is a lot of fun. And I think you should briefly mention an episode that you just recently had.
Yeah.
That, ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you,
man. It's
holy
fun.
shit. I mean, you're going to laugh. I mean, you don't have a funny bone in your body if you don't laugh at this episode. It's hysterical.
It was such a fun time to record. It's called I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-looking-good dating simulator. It is so fun. I don't know if they did voice acting or not for it, but there didn't seem to be an option. So Kev and I just made up a bunch of different voices for all the characters.
Yeah.
And the game itself is comical, right?
Sure.
But in between our goofy voices and our takes on the different happenings of this dating sim, it was hilarious. I had so much fun recording it. I had a shit ton of fun editing it too. It was just fantastic.
That's amazing. And so, I mean, you guys can check that out, and they have a significant back catalog. So by all means, hit it up. Start at the beginning if you want. Just from the standpoint of, I remember how it started for you guys.
Right.
Little clunky.
Sure.
Little clunky out of the gate, but your evolution from the beginning to where you're at now, it's unbelievable. And it's such a good podcast, and everybody should listen.
Well, I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And so Aiden and Kevin, how long have you guys been friends? It's been...
Oh, man. Since 2019. So, what's that, 6+ years now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
while. Awesome.
Yeah.
And so the focus of our opening monologue today is going to be, I don't know, what would you call it if it is a monologue, if I'm speaking on a subject, but then if we discuss it, it's no longer a monologue.
It becomes a dialogue.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Then let's call it that.
The opening dialogue.
The opening dialogue. That's it.
See,
I love that.
late night TV could never.
No.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
We're doing it first.
Not like this.
You're welcome.
No way. You are welcome.
And we're trademarking it, so fuck you.
TM. That's right, baby. So, I'm sure friendship is one of those words that is difficult to define, really. It can mean many different things to many different people. For me, I often say friends are the family you choose. And I've used that moniker for a long time. That's something I really stand by. And by saying this, I don't mean to diminish what family may or may not be to you. But you find friends, which is the interesting thing. The universe just aligns in such a way that it allows you to meet someone, and what happens from there is kind of magical. Like you can't define it, you can't explain it. It just kind of happens. So that connection between two people is really amazing to me. That two people who didn't even know each other, even though they existed, all of a sudden you meet, and you just really can't explain it. I just find it so interesting. And so over time, you share stories and jokes and good times and bad, and there's laughs and tears and fist bumps and high fives and lots of hugs. And I'm so lucky to have so many amazing people in my life. I love being there for my friends in the recent years. When I've been down, they've been there for me. Recently, my friend Jess did something amazing for me, and it wasn't something I asked her to do. I know it wasn't easy for her to do it, but she wanted to do it, and she wanted to help because she knew how broken up I was over a lost friendship and with someone that she's also close with. So I know she wants the best for both of us, and I know she's rooting for us to figure this out. And I really appreciate what she did, and she's an amazing person, and I'm so happy to call her a friend. And I single this out because it's just kind of the most recent example.
Sure.
And an example that it just blew my mind. And not that the group of friends that I have wouldn't do things for me. Lord knows they have. And they've been behind me during some super rough times. And it's amazing to see that. And it gets emotional. It gets emotional because you're just like, man, I didn't expect this from these people. But it's like friends of the family you choose,
That's
man.
very true. And it kind of loops back to the point we were making earlier about, kind of being unserious because of the quantity of bullshit that this world tends to offer on a regular basis.
Yes.
And then, from being unserious, it can loop back around to, like what you said, where it becomes emotional because you can see the, true potential of what humanity is ideally supposed to be.
Yeah.
Relationships full of empathy and care. And, of course, like you said, goofs and gaffs and laughs.
Of course.
But yeah, it can get emotional because, oftentimes people don't take the extra time to be introspective about their relationships and friendships and how important they are.
Yeah.
Or to, look back on fond memories, 'cause if you don't exercise it, maybe you lose the memory.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Maybe that's a tip. Get a little introspective.
Yeah, I love that. That is such a good tip. And the main idea here is that I don't care who you are. We have an end date.
Right.
All of us. Whether it's for some of us it's sooner, unfortunately, and for many of us it'll be 70, 75, 80 years, who knows, maybe even longer than that. But we all pass. And so that's why I've come to kind of reevaluate how I treat friendships in terms of, like, if you have disagreements, or maybe you just haven't hung out in a while, or you've drifted apart, or whatever the case is, you have to understand that you might not be around tomorrow. They might not be around tomorrow. So I think it's just so important that you cherish what you have. And if these people are important, let them know how important they are to you. And it could be a text. It could be a phone call. It could be, hey, what are you doing Saturday? Let's grab a beer. And catch up or whatever. I mean, it's so important to do that. Or if it's someone you're mad at, hug it out, man. It's like, unless it's something so terrible where it's like, yep, I'm definitely not speaking with that person again or whatever. And sometimes people change. We get all that. We're not going to go into the weeds there now. But for most things, something minor, and that could end a friendship. It's like, it shouldn't. Why would you do that?
Right.
Why would you do that? Why would you not be like, you could be mad at someone. I get mad at people, but if I care about them, whatever. I'll get over it in a day or two.
Right.
And we'll have a beer and we're fine.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. Clear communication is always key in any type of relationship, friendship, or beyond. And, if that begins to break down, then that's highly unfortunate.
Right.
Because, that's kind of the basis of all human interaction is communication, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, that's a very important part that you bring up there.
It really is. And it really came to the forefront when I learned that a friend of mine, Melissa Sobko, I met her at Loyola University of Chicago, and she was always the best person. She was so super nice, and she had passed away. And I spoke to her in July. And when I spoke to her in July, she lived in the northern suburbs of Chicago, and I really hadn't had much touch with her, kind of on and off over the years, right? But she reached out kind of on her own and was just like, hey, Maloney, blah, blah, I see you're in Valpo. I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, like you live there? Like, that's home? I'm like, yeah. I said, I've been here for years, blah, blah. And we talked. She's like, well, I'm thinking of moving there. Now, she went to high school at Andrian. For you folks not in Indiana, that's a Catholic school in Lake County. And her father lives in New Carlisle. That's a small lake town, which is just north central Indiana, I guess is the best way to put it.
Right.
But anyway, she had roots here, so she was going to come and maybe move to Valpo. And I thought, oh, how cool is that? I'm like, well, I'm your guy. I'm like, I'm here and happy to show you around or whatever. And she passed away in September, and like no one, like we didn't know about it.
Right.
And our group of friends it's pretty vast. It's a big group of friends, and at Loyola they called us the campers. And we were probably a larger group than most of the fraternities and sororities on campus.
Wow.
And we just had this great group of friends. And if people watch Star Trek and, the Borg, we just kind of assimilated people. And we would meet someone and be like, okay, you're one of ours now.
You're in.
You're in. And that's just the way it is, which is kind of interesting because there's one of those in a place called B-Dubs here in Valpo. And this group has kind of grown naturally, and we've assimilated a lot of people. And so that like this has been happening, and I'm like, you have no idea how comfortable I am right now because this is like I've been here and done that. It's been years, but I know how all of this is going to pan out. This is great. But at any rate, getting back to the subject, Melissa was awesome. She always enjoyed hanging out with her. She loved animals, loved her dogs, and we had that reconnection, and it was kind of heartbreaking that. Gosh, what was it? July, August, September. So it might have been like 6 weeks from the time we talked to when she passed. And I'm like, holy cow.
Wow.
That just really blew my mind.
Right.
It really did blow my mind. So, and she wasn't that old. I mean, people pass away in their 40s or 50s. You just got to be like, damn.
Right.
And there, of course there's lots of different ways you can pass, but the end result, right? That's what we talked about. You're no longer on this earth, and it's a messed up thing. So, at any rate, like I said, she was really a great person. She's definitely missed by many. If anything, our entire group of friends started chatting again over this. And you always, as you get older, you'll learn this, and all you millennials and Gen Zers, you're going to learn this, that there's like groups of friends and sub-friends and stuff that you kind of drift apart from. And unfortunately, as you get older, people pass. But if you, once again, when bad things happen, if you can kind of find a silver lining and things like that, it just brings a group of friends back together again.
Right.
Talking about memories and that sort of stuff. So I guess that's the silver lining in a lot of this. So I would just say, once again, don't be dumb. Don't be stupid. Just like if you get in disagreements with your friends, whatever. Sometimes friends need a little distance. Sometimes people need to be angry or frustrated. But in the end, solve it, figure it out. Hugs, kisses, whatever you do, and just figure it out. Figure it out, and because those friendships are huge.
Right, and life is short.
So just don't fuck it up.
Right.
That's basically what I'm saying. Don't fuck it up. Don't be too proud.
Yeah.
That you can't maintain these friendships even when things happen.
Right.
You definitely can. And, I understand not all friendships last forever. Sometimes they don't. I know I have, like, somewhere between 12 and 15, like, super close friends that I let in my circle. These would be the friends or family group, maybe, I suppose. I cherish those friendships. And, if something happens, you hug it out, right? You talk about things. You work on the friendships. In many ways, friendships are like relationships. And both, I guess you could put it this way. It's like caring for a flower, right? So if you ignore that flower, or you mistreat it or whatever, it's going to wither and die. And I feel like if you water it and you care for it, the flower's going to flourish. Friendships are a lot like that.
Sure.
So you can't sit there and abuse it and be mad at someone and then just let that go and let it go and let it go, because otherwise then it just dies and it's done. And there's no reason to do that. So I know I'll miss Melissa and miss that opportunity we had to reconnect before she passed away. All I can do, I suppose, is just try to be a good friend to all of my friends, my group of friends, and to those still around, and let them know I appreciate them and I love them. I think I had a Facebook post that pretty much said that today. And it's heartfelt. I've got a big heart. I know you do too. Probably a genetic defect that we got from Papa and other people, but
curses.
Damn it! Why do I wear my heart on my sleeve? But we do, and we have a big heart. So we love and we care hard. But when we're hurt, we hurt bad. We hurt really bad. So it sucks. But anyway, just work on those friendships. Just work on them. If you got that friend you've been mad at since 2018, pick up your phone. Pick up your damn phone and go have a beer with that person. Send them a text. Be like, hey, what are you up to? And just don't be stupid. Don't be proud. Don't whatever it is.
Sure.
Just work on those friendships.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyway, before we get started and jump into the meat and potatoes of the show, I'd like to thank, we get a lot of support from the community, and I'd like to thank some people. Currie Motors Ford of Valpo, Currie Motors Buick GMC, Geitonia Greek Grill, yum, Smoketown Blues Barbecue, Valpo YMCA, Life Care Centers of Valpo, The Entertainer Magazine, and Guys Being Dudes, AK 219, for their support. Much appreciated. So after this quick break, Carpe Diem on the Mark Mo Show. All right, we're back, everybody, and we're on to our segment called Carpe Diem. Those are DMs that you find beautiful, wonderful people send us, and we read them on the podcast for your enjoyment. And, if it's in the form of a question, we may answer it.
Very true.
We may not.
We're not legally obligated to.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
We're definitely not.
We didn't sign any contracts with you people.
No.
We know better than that.
Yeah, so if you ask us a question, we might just go, no.
No comment.
No comment. But, do we do that often?
Nah.
We'll answer just about anything.
Just about anything.
Just about anything. So, here's Carpe Diem, and Aiden, you want to kick us off?
Certainly.
All right.
DM here from Gumbo Richie. They ask $20,000 or never feel joint pain again. It's a tough one.
20 grand,
20 grand is a nice, comfortable amount of money.
Helps.
Definitely helps. It's not crazy. It's not enough to retire on. Unless it's like 1920.
Right.
But never feeling joint pain again. I mean, granted, I'm in my 20s still, right? And doing this laborious job I have, the old back and knees start to get to me sometimes.
Oh, sure.
And considering I'm experiencing that in my 20s, I have no idea what my 30s and 40s are going to hold, or beyond. So it's one of those things like, do I take that now, like as an investment in my health, or do I take the instant gratification of $20,000?
Right, exactly.
That's the tough part.
$20,000 can buy a lot of Tiger Balm.
That is true. That is true. Several years' supply, depending how quickly you go through Tiger Balm.
And there is inflation and tariffs and what.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to stop. We're going to stop there. We're going to stop it. No, we're the fun show.
Oh, man. 20 grand. 20 grand just may not be enough. I don't know. It seems like... But then again, like you said, if I take the never feel joint pain again and then I get hit by a bus tomorrow, that's not going to be a good time.
Right, that is not a good time.
But 20 grand, I might just take the 20 grand right now. You know?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because you're still young enough to adjust your lifestyle so you can push off some of that pain and suffering that many of us middle-aged folks have to deal with.
Certainly.
But I'll be honest, I'll take that no joint pain.
No joint pain, yeah. Got to cash in on that for sure.
I wake up sore. Like, there is always a pain somewhere. And I'm like, what the hell did I just do in my sleep that caused a part of my body to ache in such a way where I'm like, well, what did I do? Did I just do squats? I don't understand what the hell just happened. Because, like, you know, you're younger, you wake up, you're out of bed, you do a big stretch, you're like, man, that was awesome. And now you wake up and it's like, okay, what part of the body is that? Is that a part? Why does it hurt? Yeah, it's find the pain is a fun game in the morning. Yeah, I'm going to go with no pain.
No joint pain.
No joint pain.
Yeah, I can't blame you. I've got a listener named Randy asking, if you could have one classic car, what would you choose?
You want my answer first?
Go ahead.
1970 Chevelle SS.
That super sport.
With that racing stripe.
Yeah.
Probably the black or the red. And, yeah, that would be it.
That's a good one.
That's such a great car.
That is classy. I was thinking those old Corvette Stingrays.
Ooh.
I think 60s or 70s is when they looked the sleekest.
Yes.
That might be what I cash in on. I don't have a specific year. Probably whichever year they put the biggest engine in it. But yeah, I'll probably cash in on a Stingray. Those are just sweet.
That's a really good selection.
I could go with the old Chevrolet Impala that, you know, made famous by the TV show Supernatural.
Oh, yeah.
Chevrolet just fucked the Impala and turned it into a regular old-ass car.
It's just lame now. Yeah.
So, yeah, might cash in on that, too.
That's a really good one.
I know the Stingray's more valuable, but the Impala I would feel cooler.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that I would definitely love that Chevelle. I also kind of, even though it's an impractical design and an impractical vehicle, that Plymouth Roadrunner with that funky wing thing on the back of it.
Huge wing, yeah.
Oh my God, so cool. So cool. So weird, but so cool.
Right. Very iconic.
It's iconic.
Of the time.
Exactly.
I guess I'm not sure it would be my choice, but another fun idea would be the old VW van.
Oh, yeah.
Like that classic hippie-style van.
That's the perfect vehicle if you decide to quit life.
Right.
And you're just like, yep, I will leave town in that and never return.
Exactly. Yeah. I will see every national park.
Exactly.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Oh, no doubt.
The final DM I received from a man named Willie Long.
Oh, okay.
Which, I mean, that's fantastic.
Good for him.
They ask, yeah, it must be nice. A genie offers you control of an unusual power. Would you rather have complete control of cavities, removing them or adding them to any person's mouth?
Oh, my.
Or complete control of nail and hair growth on any human? That's interesting. Because you could either be the world's best dentist and also secretly a supervillain.
Right.
Or just a causer of chaos in the beauty community as far as hair and nails go.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
I like that hair and nails one because, look, once again, middle-aged guy here. Hairs start growing in places where it's like, why do I have hairs there?
Sure.
What the hell's going on? So rather than, what do they call it? Electrolysis? Is that what it is? Hair removal? Whatever.
Oh, like laser hair removal.
Laser
They've got,
hair
like,
removal,
Nair,
whatever that is.
which is just like chemicals.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But whatever the case might be, it's just like, it'd be nice to just be like, yep. As they say in the other guys, completely shaved.
Yeah.
You think because I have this beard that I'm very hairy, but completely shaved.
Arnie Palmer alert.
Alan!
You come back here and fuck my wife.
Great movie. Great movie. Yes, I like the hair part.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You could also make a business out of it. I think both of these, you have the potential to capitalize on them financially.
Yeah.
Because if you have, like, instant hair and nail growth, you know, you don't need any of this, like, what do they call it, like Bosley or whatever the fuck it is?
Yes.
That shit you put on your hair.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's like a 13% guarantee that maybe it might come back. That's not legally binding. That's just a bit. I don't know how successful it is. But you would have complete success.
Yes.
With control of that. And people pay a lot for hair, like hair transplants and stuff.
Well, think of going to the barber in GTA 5.
Yeah.
Click,
exactly.
Click.
Yeah. You're welcome.
It exists in the video game. Let's make it exist in the real world.
Yeah.
One day I want to look like Slash. The next day maybe Stone Cold. So just like switch it up.
Yeah. That's very true. They both have devious answers too. Like if you dislike someone, at the snap of your fingers, with the power of cavities, you could make the inside of their mouth look like those disturbing pictures of Brock Lesnar's fucked up teeth.
Oh yeah, oh my god.
Like boop, oops, all cavities.
All cavities.
Not that I recommend using the power that way, but it is an idea.
Yeah.
You know what? If you're taking hair and nails, I'll take cavities.
You'll do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do a little trolling. I can do a little trolling.
A little trolling.
Just on the side.
I give you a cavity. I do not like you. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I would also be the world's best dentist.
You would be. So, I got this kit. What the
Wow.
hell? Yeah,
that'll be $12,000.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't take insurance. Cash only business. Man, that's funny. Yeah, the hair one for me for sure. But all right, I've got a few here as well. At Zebraman143, hi Mark Mo Show. Do you guys love Patrick Mahomes as much as I do? I follow him around all over the place. Yikes.
Ooh.
Someone cut in front of him at Costco, and I threw my flag 15 yards.
Well, Zebra Man, we've noticed.
We've definitely noticed.
Yeah.
You guys should definitely not wear black and white. You should wear red and white.
Yeah. That's very true.
I mean, let's just be honest. And so many sports people have been saying, there's no conspiracy and there's the blah and the refs
Look at
don't.
the numbers.
Look at the numbers, man. The numbers don't lie. It's like you can go to all these questionable calls, like a bad call a game, maybe two bad calls. Things even out. And like people want to believe that. Like, bad calls even out. Against the Chiefs?
No.
Really?
Not even close.
No way. Because in that Bills game, the bad calls were like 5-1.
Yeah. Not even remotely close.
Not even remotely close. And a couple of those basically cost them the game.
Oh, yeah.
Because that tight end dove for that one first down, and they're like, nah, you're short. And then Allen, and he's a big dude, and it looked like the ball got over the line.
Right.
Nah, you're short.
Unbelievable.
It's a joke. It's a joke. And it makes you not want to care. And now we've got two teams in the Super Bowl. I've seen the meme on social media where it shows like the little graph of like who people are cheering for, and there's like a little red dot in the middle of the country. It says Kansas City.
Right.
A little green dot in the Northeast says Philly. And the rest is all in gray. And that selection is hoping we get hit by a meteor.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, it's okay. Yep.
Yeah.
That's about right.
What I'm watching the Super Bowl for this year is the Kendrick Lamar halftime show.
100%.
That's it.
Yep. I want some funny commercials and Kendrick Lamar. Other than that, like whatever's happening during the game, I'll be snacking, I'll be getting beer, I'll be up for a sandwich, whatever.
That's the part I can tune out.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Crazy.
At Frederico Falascio.
Great name.
That's a great name. I am moving to the United States from Italy. Tell me where the best place is to meet beautiful women.
L.A.? San Diego?
San Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah, that's it.
I would say Tijuana, but that is in Mexico.
And that's a little sus. Because you could...
It's just right across the border.
This is right across the border.
Across the border.
It's right across the border. But Tijuana is like a dirtier, much more dangerous Vegas.
That's awesome.
And that may
That's
be
awesome.
That might be what Frederico's looking for. So yeah, that could
be what I'm looking for.
That's what I'm. Let's go. I would agree 100% with that. No, God, it depends what your definition is. It depends what you're looking for.
That's also true.
Your definition of what you consider beautiful might be different than what I do.
That's a fantastic point you make.
So that's kind of tough, Frederico. Here's where I would start. I would start at the bars. Now, by saying that...
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't know if he was talking about cities or locations. My bad.
And that could be. Either way, who knows? He needs help. He's coming to the United States.
True.
So I would just say start at the bars, but not the ones that are open till 4 a.m. that you go in there and they're kind of dirty and dingy. That might be... If you're looking for relations with anyone... It's a good play. But if you're looking for a woman, like a more relationship, I don't know what he's looking for.
That's very true.
I would say, if you're going to the bar, pick a nicer bar, a little bit more upscale. Become a regular. Start meeting a few people. I think that's the best way to do it. I'm going to throw something out there. And I've, as a single middle-aged guy, and I've been that for a while, I have to say... Target is a fantastic place to meet middle-aged women. I don't know how old Frederico is. Maybe Frederico is a middle-aged.
That's very true.
Depending how old you are. If you're 20, I would not tell you to go to Target. But if you're 40 and you're a good-looking guy, go shopping.
Very true.
Go shopping. I would say definitely go to Target. Maybe Costco.
Costco. Interesting.
Yeah.
Never thought of a Costco like that.
Yep.
I've also never been to a Costco.
Now, you could run into a problem, which is a problem I've run into at quote-unquote upscale bar, where you are meeting women, but they all happen to be married.
Oh, that's troubling.
That is troubling. Once again, could be out for a good time, but you know who's not out for a good time? That husband.
Very true. Unless he's involved, in which case you would have to be also open to such a thing, Mr. Frederico.
True. I mean, there's lots of ways you can go on this. It's like we could do a whole episode on this. So I wish you luck. Start at some bars.
Start at the bars. Let us know how Tijuana is.
Definitely let us know. And if you go to Tijuana and you drink a lot and you suck down that worm, that's not a metaphor for anything. If you suck down that worm and it's one of those nights and you wake up and you're groggy and you're who's next to me, just know with the understanding that the person next to you may have some equipment you weren't counting on. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh.
Maybe Frederico's okay with that. But I'm just going to say, Tijuana especially, it could get dicey.
Interesting. These are things I have not yet heard about Tijuana.
Aiden, I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of experience in this life. And I've been proud of everything I've done, but I know a thing or two.
So you've seen a thing or two.
I have. I drink PBR and I know things.
Yeah, for sure. Get that trademark.
I have to. And I have to get PBR to sponsor us.
Very true.
Finally. I mean, my Facebook is loaded with pictures of me like, hey, hanging with friends, I got a PBR in my hand.
Right.
Hey, having cheesy garlic bread at Peddler's. PBR.
Right.
It's just like, when are you going to give me money? PBR, you're out there. Come on, work with me.
Yeah. It's not like they don't have money.
They have money. Trust me, it is one of the more popular beers at bars now. So
that is very true. Making a wild comeback.
They are making a wild comeback. At Chunky Chet 54.
Oh, hell yeah, Chet.
I love that guy. Guys, I love pizza. I love pizza.
As you should.
As you should. This guy on Facebook keeps saying New Haven and New York style is the best. Do you agree? What is the best pizza where you come from?
I don't know, and I don't care about that man. Never heard of him. Because people who spread falsities do not make my homepage.
Ooh, that's fair.
A bold claim, but
That is a bold claim.
yeah, I'm not much of a social media user myself these days. I usually keep myself busy with the content creation lifestyle and a full-time job.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, if you want slop, you can go elsewhere. If you want pizza, you can come to the Midwest.
Yes.
You know, you've got Detroit style's phenomenal, Chicago style, both tavern and deep dish, I will say, are both fantastic. I mean, that's top three. If you're asking for my top three,
Yeah, I think that's fair.
you're welcome.
That is
Chet, you've earned it.
You've earned it. So you come here, and I would say Giordano's is a good bet. Fox's on the southwest side of Chicago is a good bet.
True.
I would say
Got Lou Malnati's.
Lou Malnati's is a good bet. Gino's East is a
Yeah.
good bet.
Could eat home
Paisano's.
Run, yeah, home run in at the restaurant.
Home run in at the restaurant. I would agree with that.
Even the frozen za's good.
Yes. D'Agostino's, JB Alberto's. I know them all, ladies and gentlemen. Rinaldi's. There's so many good pizza joints in the city. Now, a lot of people, if we're going to have a little educational seminar here, they'd be like, oh, Chicago pizza, it's like a big lasagna, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, first of all, it's a deep dish pizza. And
If anyone's confused, I don't mean to take this over.
No,
but
do
I
it.
always see, oh, there's no cheese on it. Where's the cheese? The cheese is under the sauce.
cheese under the
The
sauce.
cheese is under the sauce.
Go to Giordano's massive cheese pull. And the server will do the whole cheese pull bit
Yes.
with you. Lots of cheese.
It's under the sauce.
It's
Chill
under
out.
the sauce. Relax. It looks like a big tomato. I'm like, guys. Work with me here. And so some people are like, oh, Chicago should really lean into that deep dish thing. That's Chicago pizza. No, it's not. It is what I call tourist pizza. Because people come to Chicago. Most of your deep dish is centrally located to downtown. Gee, why is that? That's where the tourists go.
Sure.
And it doesn't mean it's bad pizza. I'll eat it from time to time. But if I ate deep dish pizza the way I eat thin crust pizza, I would be a ton.
Oh, sure.
I would literally be
That's
a ton.
true.
I'd probably be dead.
Deep dish is one of those where a slice of deep dish pizza is a meal.
Yeah.
And the tavern style, you can eat half a pizza and that's a meal.
Oh, yeah. We pound on that.
Yeah.
And the thin crust is good. It's usually thin, very thin. Sometimes they've got that
The
magical pixie dust on the cornmeal.
Cornmeal, yeah.
On the bottom. A lot of the Southwest tavern style is what they call it. So you get that tavern style pizza. It's cut in squares. Now, I often hear this from New York people who eat that big triangle that's all floppy and shit, that they say, you must be a psycho to want that middle piece of pizza. Who wants pizza without the crust? Now, to be fair, I've been in big parties where there's a big pizza, and the first pieces to go are those edge pieces. People are
That's
like,
true.
yep, I want that. The middle piece is fine because the crust is crispy. You're fine.
That's true.
It's okay.
It's not that floppy dog shit.
Right, exactly. Where it's like you got to sit there and hold a New York slice like it's a wet napkin.
Right.
And then and
You have to fold it over like it's a taco.
You have to
Stop
fold it.
pretending it's a pizza.
yeah, right. Call it a calzone and call
Right.
it a day.
Exactly.
I mean, what are you doing?
It's just a calzone without the extra step.
That's about right.
Yeah.
That's about right. Now, if somebody brought a New York style pie to my home, am I going to turn it down? No.
Pizza's pizza.
Pizza's pizza. I'm just saying, if we're going to put it on a rating or a scale,
It is lesser.
yes.
lesser than.
Yeah, I would go Chicago, Detroit, New Haven, probably Cleveland or Pittsburgh. Philly's got good pizza too, because it's not technically New York style. New Jersey's got good pizza. See, I don't know if New York makes my top 5.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure New York's got amazing pizza places. I'm sure they do. But, I mean, if we're just talking overall style, I'm not sure New York's in my top 5.
That ain't it.
I just don't think so.
No. 100% agree.
Yeah. My last one here is from Backstage Betty 69.
Oh, wow.
Hi, boys. What are some of the best concerts you've seen? Any bands you haven't seen that you'd like to see live?
The concert I've been to is Iron Maiden. And I think that's it.
I think we're going to have
believe.
to work on that.
I believe so. And it was fantastic.
It was such a good
It was
time.
very fantastic. Even their opener was fantastic.
Yeah.
I would say bands I want to see. I would love to see Rage or Green Day. I think those shows would be a lot of fun. Who else? Who else would I want to see? I bet a Tesla show would be fun.
Tesla's great. They're just a good hard rock jam band. They're just so fun.
Yeah. I would love to see Pearl Jam.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
And their new album's pretty fly.
It is good. Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. So that's probably my response. But I've only seen the one.
I like those. A lot of those bands that you mentioned, I'd go see too. I think the bands that I've really enjoyed, I always enjoy seeing Tesla without a doubt. Iron Maiden I've seen 11 or 12 times. That Maiden Megadeth show in Vegas was, I'll always remember it. I will never forget that show. It was unbelievable. That was really great. I've seen Billy Joel live twice. Billy Joel on the Stormfront tour, unbelievable. Just unreal. I love it. And just so many good shows. I haven't seen U2. I would like to see U2 before. I should say before they're too old, but a lot of the bands I've been seeing since the 80s and 90s are all old, and they sound better now than they did then. So
yeah,
I don't, it's kind of crazy.
Probably because they've gotten off the sauce.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. So if I had to put a few bands out there, I'd say U2, Nine Inch Nails, Tool, and Jane's Addiction. Those are some bands I haven't seen that I really want to see.
That's pretty good. I think I would also like to see Kendrick Lamar live.
Kendrick Lamar would be a good show. I'd like to see Ice Cube.
Yeah.
I missed that opportunity in Vegas. That was just...
Oh, boo.
I'm not saying anything.
Not naming names.
I'm not naming names, but quite frankly, too, we've been out in the heat like all day in Vegas. So, I mean, I was a little tired, but I was still game.
Right.
You know, you're in Vegas. Suck it up, Buttercup. Let's find some water. Let's knuckle down.
Yeah,
let's do this thing.
Exactly. Get you some caffeine. You'll be fine.
Oh, no doubt. So that was a bit of a misstep.
Sure.
But, yeah, Ice Cube, Kendrick Lamar, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
We good Eminem.
Oh, that'd be lit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be super lit.
Yeah, I would dig that, for sure. Oh, God, that one band just left my mind. And I know it's a band that you like, too. Glass
Animals?
Glass Animals.
Yeah, that'd be a fun show.
That would be really good. Maneskin would be really good. I mean, there's a lot of groups I'd love to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. If only tickets weren't so damn expensive.
Yeah. Oh, God, I know, right?
It's nuts.
This is about the time where we start to discuss other foods in a segment called, guess what? The Other Foods.
Oh.
So we talk about food a lot
true.
because we're foodies. I write food articles, the whole thing.
I eat a lot of food. Absolutely.
And so Aiden tends to find some interesting food choices from around the world. And you kind of look at it and go, oh my God, people don't actually eat that.
That they do.
That they do.
That they do.
What do you have for us today?
I found two that I wanted to bring up today.
All right.
From our lovely neighbors to the south. And I know these aren't indicative of the entire country of Mexico, but that is where they're from. This first one, Escamoles, from the native language of Nahuatl languages. If I mispronounce anything, I apologize. But colloquially, they're known as Mexican caviar or insect caviar, which is the edible larvae and pupae of ants.
Oh, no.
Commonly consumed in Mexico City and surrounding areas, escamoles have been consumed in Mexico since the age of the Aztecs. The taste is described as buttery and nutty, with a texture akin to that of cottage cheese.
It tastes a bit nutty. That's disgusting.
So I found that. Because that's what I found when I first started looking, and then there was a related article, and I'm like, now what the hell could be related to that? Well, this is jamois. They're the common name of Mexico of edible insects of the order of Coloptera, which are beetles. They're consumed preferably in the summer in their last larval stage of life, since in their adult life they start to take on a bitter taste. These beetles are consumed fried, roasted, stewed, or in sauce, and sometimes served with salt and chili. In southern Mexico, they're eaten toasted on a comal or in a broth prepared with avocado leaf and ground corn. Now, I know that eating bugs in other parts of the world is pretty casual. Like, the consumption of crickets has just recently hit the U.S. as, like, an acceptable thing to do. And honestly, I've consumed my fair share of cricket-containing products, and it tastes like nothing. They just turn it back into protein powder and then add it to things. It doesn't taste like crickets feel like they would taste.
Sure.
But when you start eating larvae and pupal stage things and whole beetles, that's where I start to become a little apprehensive.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe a little cautious and say, maybe it's not for me.
Oh, I know, right?
I'm a fairly adventurous person when it comes to food. I'll try almost anything at least once. But man, I would need to be inebriated and blindfolded before I would give a cottage cheese-esque larvae a try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no way. I can't even think of a situation where that would be something I would want to do.
Right. And usually, because of my general adventurous style of, trying anything once, when I hear about a food, I can typically conceptualize how it might taste, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I, for the life of me, cannot conceptualize a buttery, nutty, flavored, cottage cheese textured ant larvae. I don't know. My tongue and brain will not allow me to conceptualize that.
I can't.
I can't do it.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
God, that's so nasty.
Yeah.
That's so nasty.
If you out there have tried either of those before, A, let me know if I pronounced them wrong, which I probably did. I apologize. But two, B, what does it taste like?
I would want to know.
Did you
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yes. We're curious.
We're definitely curious. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, go get yourself some escamole.
Yes, absolutely.
And we'll be right back. All right, we are back, everybody, with our feature segment. You just made the list each and every week, a top 10 list, 10 to 2 with our big number 1 reveal. And the only rule is that, well, there are no rules.
We specifically designed it to be like that.
Oh, for sure.
It's a little easier on us.
Yeah, oh, most definitely. Most definitely. So we change it up every week. We do something different in terms of our lists. And this week, top 10 best movies shot in Chicago. And we are originally from Chicago. We currently live in Indiana, but still think we're from
Chicagoland.
Our heart is in Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
Most definitely. So we have a top 10 list of our favorite Chicago-based movies, and I'll get going with mine here. Number 10, 8 Men Out. That is the baseball movie.
That's a great one.
About the White Sox that cheated.
Yeah. Well, it's the White Sox, so
that's what
do you expect?
It's what they do.
That's a great one. I wish I had that.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Number 9, The Untouchables. Great gangster movie with Sean Connery in it, and he's amazing. Kevin Costner, great cast. Number 8, Brian's Song. It's an old movie about Brian Piccolo, the Chicago Bears, Billy D. Williams, and James Caan. And it was basically just an examination, especially at that time in America, of a white guy and a black guy becoming best friends, and Brian Piccolo getting a fatal illness,
right?
And Gale Sayers being by his side every step of the way, and it's a tough movie. It's a movie where you get to the end, and even if you're not a sports fan, you're gonna have a tough time not at least shedding a man tear.
Right.
Just that single tear. It's something. Number 7, Adventures in Babysitting, a cheesy late 80s movie, an Elizabeth Shue vehicle, if you will. It's not a great movie. It's kind of funny and cute, especially for like older kids. But the cool part is like they really go all over Chicago.
That's pretty cool.
You know, and they really feature the city, so they do a good job of that. Number 6, kind of one people might not have on their list, but it reeks of Chicago, and that is The Dark Knight.
Oh, that's a good answer.
That is The Dark Knight. So for most people, it's just a Batman movie. For us, it's Chicago Batman.
That's so true.
It's the Chicago Batman movie.
What a great answer.
Yeah, I love that.
Really good addition.
Number 5, and this movie, if I had like a top 20 list, which maybe we'll do someday, a top 20 list of my favorite movies of all time, this movie's probably on it. It's called Primal Fear.
Oh.
It's with Edward Norton, Richard Gere, Laura Linney. I love this movie, and it is so Chicago.
Yeah.
It's a great court case. Edward Norton should have won an Oscar. His role was amazing. And I love it. It's just a great movie. Features the city prominently and kind of gets into politics and neighborhood politics and stuff. And like it's just like, yep, that's Chicago. You guys nailed it.
That's pretty cool.
Number 4, another movie that'd probably be in my top 20, The Fugitive.
Nice. Very good.
Love The Fugitive.
Very good.
Chicago featured heavily in that movie as well. Number 3, Backdraft. I love this movie. Another movie that features firemen and does it in such a way where, you know, I grew up in the southwest side of Chicago. Where there's a lot of firefighter families, and every one of them just like, yeah, that's
accurate.
I mean, sure, there's a little bit of Hollywood to it.
Sure.
But Ron Howard directed the movie, and like they literally spent so much time with firemen, like learning about fire, working with the guys that were going to be setting things on fire in the movie to be like, okay, how is this? How does this look real? How's it going to react?
Right.
They spent so much time doing it, and once again, Chicago just prominently figured. There's an Irish band that plays in the movie. There's a fight at a bar. I mean, it's just the McCaffreys. That's the name of the family. So it's a Southside Irish family. It's great. It's so good. And number 2, the Blues Brothers.
Nice.
Blues Brothers, so great. It's once again maybe a movie that's in that top 20. Just so great. The music's phenomenal, and Dan Aykroyd and Belushi are just hilarious.
Yeah, fantastic.
So
that's a great one.
That's it. And then my number 1 in a few minutes.
Holding out that number 1.
Holding out.
Number 10 on my list is the sci-fi movie Divergent, which is filmed heavily in Chicago.
Really?
Oh yeah, most
that
of the
is
filming
interesting.
Done in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
A very fun one. Number 9 on my list, Public Enemies, another filmed in Chicago. Pretty good movie. Number 8 on my list is The Negotiator.
Oh no! Oh,
did someone forget The Negotiator?
I did, and I love The Negotiator because Sam Jackson and Kevin Spacey are those like 2 of my favorite actors. Oh my god!
Come on!
Oh, you
got to give Samuel L. Jackson a little bit of credit.
I will sit in the corner and feel shame now. That is exactly what I will do.
I put this one on here because the house prominently in the far north suburbs. Home Alone is number 7 on my list.
Yep.
Not that it's really in Chicago, but it's in the suburbs, and it's a good Christmas movie. Number 6 on my list, The Fugitive, as you mentioned.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Great movie.
Number 5, I was surprised to find out this was filmed big in Chicago as well. Candyman, the horror
Candyman
flick.
is shot. That's another good one. That was shot. Oh God, I don't think it was the Ida B. Wells projects. Maybe it was. Or was it Cabrini Green? It is one of the housing projects it was heavily shot in. Yeah.
Yep. Candyman. Very, very
That's
cool.
awesome.
Number 4, this one is, as you say, the essence of Chicago. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. The essence, and it's the Thanksgiving movie.
And it's great because most of the movie is not in Chicago.
Right.
But that's where they're trying to get. That's the goal. They're trying to get back to Chicago, and some of the last scenes. Once again, a movie where you get to that end, and John Candy, R.I.P., man.
A legend.
What an amazing role he played in that. just phenomenal. And you get to those last few scenes of that movie, heartstrings. Dude.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Absolutely. Number 3 on my list, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Nice.
A fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Very 80s. Number 2.
Do you have a kiss for daddy?
Right. Number 2 on my list, I, Robot. The Will Smith classic. Seems like
That's good.
Seems like someone forgot I, Robot too.
I did. See, there are no rules. I could have had a few honorable mentions
true.
on there.
That's true.
I failed. I'm so sorry.
I, Robot. A very, very strong number 2 in my
That
opinion.
is a strong number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I was happy with that.
My number 1 is, I think, your number 3, Ferris Bueller's Day
Nice.
Off. It's such a great movie. Once again, just features the city prominently.
Right.
Whether it's them going to the Cubs games or them
The
going to
parade.
Shea Paul or the
Yeah.
parade. It's just hilarious. So yeah, that one is number 1 for me.
Yes. And your number 2 was my number 1, The Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Number 1 on my list.
Yeah, it's
Just a classic.
It's so great. Oh God, I love that movie.
very good.
We have both kinds of music, country and western. So great. I love that movie. Yeah, and of course the end scene, which is ridiculous, but once again features the city and Daly Center. And, just great. Just fantastic.
Yeah, a really good movie.
So yeah, if we missed any, by all means, we are on socials. The Mark Mo Show podcast has a page. AK219 has a page. We have our personal pages. Shout at us and let us know. Be like, hey, you forgot this movie, or I think that movie's great. Just let us know.
Very true.
We do a thing called Review Preview every week. Review a movie and preview a movie. But I haven't been going to the movies very much. And so being that I have failed all of you in that, I figure, well, what could I do? And I could talk about an older movie. And so for maybe some of the younger folks who maybe listen to the show, maybe I'm doing a service. I'm doing a public service.
For sure.
By saying, hey, here's this older movie. You should check it out. And it's a little topical as well because it is almost this day. It is almost Groundhog Day.
Oh, yeah.
And so, Groundhog Day, just in a nutshell, a cynical TV weatherman named Phil, played by Bill Murray, finds himself reliving the same day over and over and over again, and goes on location in the small town of Punxsutawney to film a report about the annual Groundhog Day. His predicament drives him to distraction until he sees a way of turning the situation into his advantage. The movie also stars Andy McDowell as the producer, who becomes Phil's love interest, and Chris Elliott, who portrays the wacky cameraman, directed by the legendary Harold Ramis. And even though it is Punxsutawney, it was shot in Woodstock, Illinois.
Oh, how about that?
So you can go to Woodstock and see a lot of the buildings
Yeah.
and things like that you saw in the movie.
First step is a doozy.
It's a doozy. Ned Ryerson.
Didn't he sell life insurance?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. And at the very end, Phil bought everything he
Yeah.
had. Yeah, it's such a good movie. Once again, a movie that has... It's a comedy, so you're going to laugh, but it has a lot of heart. And I think
Very spirited.
Phil learns a lot about life, about being a human being, because he was really, at the beginning, pretty insufferable.
Yeah.
And people really didn't like him very much. But he became likable, and he learned a lot about people. And he ends up trying to do good. And in his quest to get with this girl, instead of, trying to get with this girl in the sense that you're thinking about,
Right.
he falls for her. And then at the very end realizes that it isn't about knowing everything. It is about reliving this day and trying to figure everything else about her. This is about being yourself.
Right.
It's about being yourself and wanting the best for her.
Right. And the takeaway I always got from the movie is the perspective and attitude change from, the start to the middle to the end
Yes.
is kind of the life lesson I got from the movie. Not that the movie's meant to be a life lesson, but it's primarily a comedy.
Kinda
but
is.
you can take away from it that sometimes all you need is a perspective or an attitude change to change your own scenario.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Control the things you can change, and those are things you can change.
Yeah, I agree.
Great movie.
Very well said. Oh, I love that movie. It's just there's certain movies you watch at a certain time of the year. I think there's even some cable channel that like runs the movie 24 hours. They keep it going. So definitely check it out. I think if you haven't seen it, definitely see it.
Yes. You will get the alarm clock song stuck in your head.
Yes.
Put your
little hand in mine.
There ain't no mountain we can climb.
And then Bill Murray just wakes up. He's like, oh no.
Great movie, though.
Well, actually, there's one more bit that we do. I almost forgot it. I can't believe it. I know, right? Shocking.
Golly.
We do a segment called While You Were Sleeping. And not that was part of While You Were Sleeping. That was just a retro movie review. Aiden does this thing where while you were sleeping. So it could be a TV show. It could be a movie. It could be maybe a YouTube channel. It could be music. It could be anything. And basically he's just like, hey, buddy, wake up.
Wake up.
How did you miss this? So I'm interested to see what we missed.
Well, I went to the well again because
Okay.
I've been playing a lot of these types of video games recently. Indie horror games.
Oh, yeah.
I've been playing a lot of those recently, and this one is one of my favorites I've played in the last year, probably.
Okay.
A horror game called From the Darkness, which is made, I believe, by a Russian game developer. It's on Steam and other platforms. I think it's like $5 or $10, like most indie games.
Yeah.
It's fairly inexpensive. But it's a first-person horror game where you visit your late grandfather's apartment to retrieve a family photo album. Everything takes a turn for the worse, of course, when strange occurrences begin to happen. You think that the apartment you think is abandoned is, of course, not, because that's horror for you. Someone wrote a whole article on it because I believe it was only the second or third game that this game dev made, and it is just gripping and terrifying. And so a lot of people liked it a lot, myself included. They wrote, it's a very scary game, abuses some of the some phobias very effectively, claustrophobia being one of them, which is a big thing for me, and it got me.
Yeah,
Definitely
okay.
got me. The combination forces the player to be consistently alert and afraid as they move through this apartment, which of course is very small. In the apartment, there's a short hallway connecting most of the rooms where you have to piece together the puzzle of, the death. You're trying to follow along with the story. You're uncovering clues.
Yeah.
Maybe you see a couple corpses. Who's to say? And this small hallway connecting all the rooms becomes your least favorite part of the whole game because it's just where everything goes to shit.
Oh, no.
So it's like, you wrap up this story segment in one of the bedrooms, and then it's like you're trying to figure out, what do I have to do next? And it's like, oh no, I have to walk to the kitchen now? Oh, shit. The lights start flickering. You can't leave the apartment. The demonic forces lock you in.
Oh, that's terrifying.
So you can't leave until you learn more about, what's going on, what has gone on. It is horrifying. And, of course, you start hallucinating. It's good. It's really good. And I've been, of course, spending a lot of time in the horror genre, both watching movies and playing indie games and everything like that.
So what is the name of this game again?
From the Darkness.
From the Darkness, okay.
Yes, From the Darkness. Very, very fun. Highly recommended. You could probably sink an hour or two into it, depending how thorough you are or how terrified of it, like me. And that could definitely slow your progression as well. But, yeah, between all the indie horror games and now my girlfriend Jordan and I have been watching a lot of classic horror movies. Recently,
I love that.
we watched the original Nosferatu from the 1920s.
Oh, yeah.
What was the other one? It was called, Haunted Castle or something like that. A movie from the 60s. So we've been watching a lot of the old horror movies as well. So, not to give away any hints, but be prepared for more for more While You Were Sleeping horror editions.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, I'm definitely going to try. Oh, by the way, if someone wants to play that game, how can they find it?
You can find it on the Steam, which is just an online marketplace for PC. I believe you can get it on Xbox and PlayStation as well on those marketplaces.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Well, definitely give that a try. I'm going to give it a try. I love horror games and horror movies, so that's really good. Sounds excellent.
I played it on my YouTube channel, and it did pretty well for the numbers, but in playing it, it was so terrifying. The jump scares got me again while I was editing it.
That's impressive.
Like, holy shit, like that says something.
That definitely says something. That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, I'm definitely going to try that out. We're going to take a super quick break, and we're going to finish up our show this week with the world of weird news. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, to finish up with the world of weird news. And we scour the news reports from all over the globe, and we find weird, goofy, funny stories for you. Because we care, and we love you, and you're our friend.
You deserve to know.
You deserve to know.
Yeah.
Right. That's the number one message.
Be an informed participant in life.
That's right.
Yeah.
Super important.
Absolutely.
I agree.
These news stories,
Yes?
maybe not important.
Maybe. We'll let you we'll let you decide.
Not to, break down the fourth wall, but...
But, yeah. So, I'll kick off my story. Title, Visitors Flock to New York Botanic Garden for a whiff of a flower that smells like a rotting corpse.
Oh my god. Wait, I feel like I've heard about the flower. The rotting corpse scented... Oh, I feel like I've heard something about that.
One by one, visitors to the Brooklyn Botanic Garden pulled out their phones, snapped pictures of the rare blooming plant before leaning in to brave a whiff of its infamously putrid scent,
God.
which resembles that of rotting flesh. It smells like feet, cheese, and rotten meat. It just smelled like the worst possible combination of smells, Elijah Blaze said. That was disgusting. I got a word. I got a word. A rare Amorphophallus gigas, a relative of the Amorphophallus titanium,
Of course. Yeah.
commonly known as the corpse flower.
What a fitting
Why
name.
couldn't we have just said that? Why did
Well, Steve, because the botanists had to be like, I know what it's related to.
I know what it's called.
And then everyone else in the room is like, you know what it should be called?
Yeah, God, what a waste of consonants. Has bloomed for the first time since arriving in Brooklyn in 2018. Native to Sumatra, the plant is known for its height and carry-on scent, which it uses to attract pollinators. Okay.
Well, if, flies are attracted to feces, so...
Yeah, or they find dead bodies and there's flies around. So,
Right,
all right,
makes sense.
maybe so.
Keep up that great work.
Keep it up. It has hundreds of flowers, both male and female, inside the bloom, and it can take years between blooming events, said gardener Chris Spindrus, who first noticed the inflorescence or cluster of flowers around New Year's Eve. The bloom will last only a few days before it collapses.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so you better get it out and
Get out and give it a big whiff.
No. So this is the first time it's happened here, Spindrus said. It's not going to happen next year. It's going to be several years before it happens again. The plant is in very few other botanic gardens worldwide.
Right.
But there was a similar scene this week on the other side of the globe at a greenhouse in Sydney as thousands waited in 3-hour lines to experience the fragrance emanating from a blooming
Corpse flower.
corpse flower, jackasses, evoking gym socks and rotting garbage.
Wow.
It was the first time in 15 years that a corpse flower, see, you figured it out there, has bloomed. We got to talk to this writer. Has bloomed at the Royal Sydney Botanic Garden. That plant's flower was also spotted in December when it was 10 inches, 25 centimeters high, and by Thursday it was more than 5 feet, 1.6 meters.
That is an alarming growth.
It's alarming.
That's wild.
It's alarming.
And it smells like corpses.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna throw this out there.
Yeah.
I want to go see it while eating Aunt's caviar. I think that would really, I think that would just do
and
it.
some roasted beetles.
And some roasted beetles.
On the side.
On the side, you know. A little appetizer.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that would be just
wow.
a terrible idea.
Count me in.
Oh, for sure.
So,
all right,
okay,
Aiden, wrap it up. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just to recap.
To recap.
The scent notes of this wonderful candle of a flower,
beautiful,
if you will.
Yes.
Feet, gym socks, rotting meat,
yes,
cheese, corpses in general.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
They haven't made it into a candle yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's surprising.
I even have a better idea. Get one for your office. If you have an office, get one for your office.
Get one like the day you retire.
Find the candle that is this flower, and your boss will come in. Yeah, about the... What was that? Where are you going? They will leave you alone.
Didn't you have an assignment for me?
Yep, it'll be great.
Shucks.
Trust me on this one.
Yeah. Why aren't there more candles that just smell like shit?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
You know, they could be very
capitalized
useful
on it.
I think so.
Yeah.
No doubt.
The story I've got for the world
wrap us up
of weird news comes from UPI.com. Florida man cited for booty patrol truck's resemblance to a border patrol vehicle.
Okay.
So this happened in November of 2023. A Florida driver was issued a citation when sheriff's deputies determined his truck labeled Booty Patrol too closely resembled a border patrol vehicle. The county sheriff's office said the white Chevrolet Silverado, which bears a green stripe on the side with the words Booty Patrol on the back, had been spotted in several counties before they got to him. The driver was cited under a law banning vehicles from having red and blue lights.
That was the big thing.
That was the big thing. That too closely resemble the lights on law enforcement vehicles. Comments underneath the sheriff's office post indicate the truck is, quote, a show vehicle, and the lights were only ever used for the filming of a music video, not on any public roads. And yet they were still cited because of the red and blue lights. I think the Booty Patrol thing, it's
got some merit.
It's got some merit, but at the same time, maybe you just let the red and blue lights go.
Just let the lights go. Go for a yellow.
Booty Patrol
maybe
car.
Maybe a mauve.
Right. A mauve.
A mauve. You're welcome. Look that up.
We don't have enough beige lights.
We don't have beige lights. I want a beige light. Quite frankly, Federico Falascio, you might want to hang out with Booty Patrol guy.
Yeah, Booty Patrol guy probably knows some people.
Yeah. And he's out looking for the booty.
Exactly. It's been used in music videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ideas.
That's a big ideas. That's what we're here for.
You're welcome.
But that's it. That wraps up our show for this week. It always goes so super fast. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot. And we're just going to have fun with this thing. If you have any other ideas, things you'd like us to talk about in the future, hit us up. Hit us up in comments or whatever, and we'll talk about it because we love this very much. We love what we do, and we'll do whatever you want.
For sure. Viewer interaction. Send us your DMs.
Yeah, we'll
do it all.
We'll talk about if your favorite sport. We'll talk about it.
You love cricket?
You love cricket?
Let us know.
We'll talk about cricket.
We'll learn cricket with you.
You want us to sacrifice Kevin Bowen? We'll do it.
Again?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Oh.
There was that thing with the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Well.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again, thanks to Aidan Maloney, who is a fantastic co-host. He also helps produce the show. In addition to that, he hosts and produces all of his own shows. Why don't you give yourself a final plug there, Aidan?
Definitely. AK219, on the streets, out and about. I'm just kidding. It's on YouTube, Patreon, and all the podcast apps. And of course, my very own channel, Aidan Spelled the Right Way. Please spell it the right way, otherwise you won't find it.
That's right, very important. And once again, the Mark Mo Show, about every week. So check us out, sometimes Saturday, sometimes Sunday. Just depends whether you're on the podcast or YouTube. But definitely check us out for sure for some new content. As I said, we got interviews coming up too. That's going to be fantastic. So just keep an eye out and check us out. And my radio show, once again, WVLP. Check us out on the website, wvlp.org. You can also check us out on the TuneIn app on your handheld device. And that does it for this week. Thanks for listening in, folks.
Take her easy.
Adios.